Hello everybody and welcome to the stream. And today we are playing more of that Arkham game. But before we get into that, a couple of shout outs. So a very much a thank you to Not Ketus and streamerfund_com. I assume that's streamerfund.com, but obviously you can't have a dot in your username. But thank you very much for the follows. I do greatly appreciate it, even though we were offline. And here we are. So unfortunately we're using, well, not really unfortunately, but we are using a different camera. I have a feeling, hello. Alright. I have a feeling I might need to be getting some new arms for this because it is so... The view is wildly different. So, we're gonna see how well this goes. Yeah, so we'll see what happens, and we'll take it from there. First things first is we do have some experience points to spend. We have 8 experience points. I don't know how many we're gonna have left with, or what I'm gonna aim for. I might aim so that I've got at least 3. Mainly because currently over on the Discord, what is winning is Murder at the Excelsior Hotel, and that is 3 experience points to come into it. So we're going to see. Do I just want to grab... I might just want to grab Eye of Truth. Level 5 spell. If this skill test is on a treachery and the test is successful, then add that treachery to the victory display and attach the Eye of Truth to it. While attached, the Eye of Truth contributes its skill icons to tests of that tests on copies of the attached treachery. It very much depends on how many treacheries there are in the deck, but even still, it's 4 question marks. It's a good shout. But what that does mean is we need to find a card we can replace. I'm not entirely sure. What I want to replace, if anything. So I have 2 vicious blows in here. Vicious blow. Okay, so vicious blow is a possibility. Prophecy is a possibility. Take the initiative is another possibility. So, I mean... we're going to change it for a prophecy. Pop that over there. that there is Amanda's sorted out. Okay, pop that up there. That there was 5 experience points, so let's see if we can grab 5 from here. So that's... there isn't much, but spiritual resolve. Now the question is, if we take spiritual resolve, is there 3 cards that I can afford to remove? Purely for it. Fingerprint kit is useful, but is exceedingly expensive. How many people do we have in here? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. It might be time. Might be time to cut one of them. I think I might cut Peter because I just don't summon him. So we get rid of Peter. What else could we get rid of in theory from... because yeah, I'm probably going to go for spiritual resolve at this point. Over everything else that I've got here. Parlay is still very useful. Might get rid of manual dexterity. I mean, it's a way of getting cards, but I don't really do much that requires speed at this point. As much as I hate to do it. No, you know what, I'm not going to. I will keep that in there. I think what I'll get rid of is... I still don't know what to get rid of. Steadfast is useful because we usually are up pretty high. think it's going to be getting rid of deduction. Mainly as because we're still keeping the fingerprint kit, so getting rid of deduction kind of helps. But we now have 3 spiritual pressures, which is nice, which is Myriad, discard a copy of Spiritual Resolve, from your hand, heal all damage and horror from this copy of Spiritual Resolve. So we kind of need to grab multiple copies of that. We need to try and grab as many copies of that card as we can. As early as we can. So, you may kind of be noticing on the screen some new visual effects. That's because we have a green screen, and I have had a request that Biscuit of Completely Baked wants his face on the stream. So there you go. And as you can see, the power of the green screen. So he's not here. If he appears again, I will turn it back on, but for now, it's there. He can be happy with that. Actually, what I should do, let me just clip that. At least that way then he can you'll know it's happened. So we'll just shuffle these quickly on camera. So there is no room for impropriety. Amanda's deck. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. To be honest, dependent on what happens here, depending on how well it looks when we finish setting it up, I will decide whether I'm going to continue this or not. If this doesn't work, screw it. We'll be changing up the stream. If it does, then great. Actually, I've got no idea what I would change to. Hey, Charlie 2x4. We are running, for the moment anyway, Amanda Sharp and Carolyn Fern. Oh, of course the camera went out of focus. Oh, you stupid camera. At least we're going to try to. My webcam that I was using last week died. So I have had to change. I got a new one. But I have a feeling I need to acquire a new arm that the webcam is sitting on for the desk. Just so I can get like a higher elevation from the camera. Oh yeah, I definitely think I do. So you unfortunately have come for the Arkham horror, but you might be we might be switching over to Monster Hunter Rise, I think. No, screw it. We'll stay with Arkham. I'm gonna go to Arkham Horror Mother's Embrace. If this doesn't work. To be honest, I probably should have done more testing, but I didn't have as much free time this week. So that is a little unfortunate. I have been playing Arkham Horror's Mother Embrace myself. It's beautiful. I'm enjoying that game a lot. Looking at it, when I went into it, I did notice that I think it might be more designed for a less graphically demanding system, because you could I could see a few graphical issues with some of the polygons for the characters. Not only that, there was I think it peaked out on the sound at one point in my stream, which was pretty bad. But we will see. We'll see what happens. Right, where are we? We want to go back up here. Do we? No, we've done Armitage's Fate. So, Miskatonic Museum. Several months ago, Armitage and his colleagues stopped a rampaging horror from tearing through Dunwich, a backwater town several hours north and west of Arkham. At first, you imagine this beast as a rabid bear or worse, but the professor's description of the creature paints a different picture. That's just the world we live in with unfinished games. Is the game considered unfinished then? I mean, if I remember correctly, wasn't it that was the Asmodee digital group? Oh, that's just the world we live in with unfinished games. Oh, okay. You're just saying in general. It all began with a man named Wilbur Wheatley. Once the Orne Library looked for Olus Warmulus, a Latin's translation of a book called the Necronomicon. They usually do updates. Yeah, that's true. I can't remember. I can't remember. I know that there was an announcement, I think last year, that Fantasy Flight were closing one of their digital game studios, and I'm not sure if it was Asmodee Digital. Wilbur already possessed a beaten-up English translation by Dr. John D. Oh shit, just remembered something that I need to change very quickly. That. Like I said, I can't remember. It was, you know, last year was just a blur, so. But it was insufficient for his purposes. Armitage turned the man away, fearing what the strange man had for the book. Wheatley returned in secret, hoping to steal the book, but it was attacked by a hound guarding the university. Armitage, Rice, and Morgan later discovered Wheatley's body. A description of the foul corpse, semi-anthropomorphic and covered in fur, with a leathery hide and greenish-grey tentacles, causes you to question whether or not Wheatley was truly human. Right, check the campaign log if Dr. Henry Armitage was kidnapped, Part 1. If he was rescued, Part 2. The investigators rescued Dr. Henry Armitage. Part 2. My colleagues and I were quick to put the ordeal behind us, Armitage said with a sigh. But it seems that things haven't fully resolved themselves. I'll tell you the rest later, but for now it's imperative that we get our hands on that copy of the Necronomicon. If my instincts are correct, The assailants you encountered will be searching for it. After all that transpired, I didn't feel safe keeping it at the library, so I brought it to my good friend, Harold Wolstead. He is the current curator of the Miskatonic Museum. I thought it would be safe in the museum's restricted halls, but now I'm not so sure. We must retrieve it at all costs. I fear terribly what they could do with the rights contained in its pages. Proceed to setup. So I have acquired all of those sets at the Miskatonic Museum: Bad Luck, Sorcery, the Beyond, Chilling Cold, and Locked Doors. So, saying put one of the 2 administration office locations and one of the 2 security office locations into play at random. Alright, I am going to be changing away from this now. Back here. So we'll go with that security door. We go with that administration office. Then put the museum entrance, museum halls into play. Each investigator begins at the museum entrance. Set the 6 exhibit hall locations in a separate 2, 4, 6 and a separate exhibit deck. To do this, do the following: shuffle all exhibit halls restricted areas. Oh wait, hang on, wait. Shuffle the exhibit restricted hall and 2 alright, so that's the restricted hall. And 2 random exhibit locations together to form the 3 bottom cards of the exhibit deck, unrevealed, side face up. Okay, so we'll shuffle these. May I ask what app you use for the setup info? So that there was PDF Escape Desktop. So it's just a PDF reader. And I downloaded the PDF resource files from Fantasy Flight's website. We'll take the top 2 cards. Then with these 3, we will shuffle them. No problem. Then place the other 3 hall locations on top of it in a random order. All 6 cards of the exhibit hall should only be showing the unrevealed side, so the players do not know which exhibit hall is the exhibit hall restricted hall. Okay, so we've got that. We'll put that up the top here. These will go into play in a moment once we create the other decks that we need. Set the following cards aside out of play: Harold Wolstead, Adam Lynch, the Necronomicon, and the Shadow Spawned. Okay. Put those up there. Will you be doing the return to boxes also? So eventually, what I'm planning on doing is just going through all of the campaigns, and then I'll probably go back and add in the return to versions. I have basically everything that they've released to date. I think the only return to I won't go back and do will be the Night of the Zealot, because that entire campaign was just very painful towards the end. I managed to succeed, but it wasn't pretty. We shuffle the remaining in to form an encounter deck. My worst one is still the Forgotten Age. Ah, okay. I mean, technically right now, I am in unknown territory. I haven't... Although I have, like, all of the sets, I never actually had a chance to, like, truly play them with anyone. So when the lockdown happened, like a year ago, I thought, okay, I'll get into streaming, and when I get some traction with it, I'll start doing board games, and one of the things that I'll do is I'll play the games that can be played single player. I'll play those because I've been meaning to. It can be hard. I mean, luckily, the people that I know that also play board games like Cthulhu as well. So for the most part, it's fairly easy. The only issues really is if they don't like doing longerish campaigns. But that's not usually much of an issue. Alright. So we're almost set up. It'll be the moment of truth. We're not finished setting up yet. We'll just pop that up the top there. So we've created the encounter deck. So, standalone. If you're playing this in standalone and do not wish to refer to any other steps resolutions, you may... Okay, that's fine. The Void. Some cards in this scenario refer to an area called the Void. The Void is an out-of-play area next to the Act and Agenda deck, which the Haunting Horror enemy can enter and leave via card effects. While the Haunting Horror is in the Void, it is considered out of play and cannot be affected by player cards or investigator actions. I do not read until the end of the scenario. Okay. So, we need to start setting up this. Okay, so there's the exhibit hall. We'll put that just up here, just there. Yep, that's good. And then Security hall, administration, museum entrance, and museum halls. I get the feeling I am going to need yeah. You know what? I am going to make the executive call, actually, that the camera isn't high enough up. I hate to do it, but as I said in messages to someone else on Twitter, while it's good to have a schedule, it is always an idea to make sure you've got a card in your back pocket where you can turn around and say, fuck it, we're playing something else. Unfortunately, it's too risky to try and carry on, in my opinion. Because if we've got 6 cards and we've got to go through 6 locations, I've got to find a place that I can put the exhibit halls. And I don't know what's coming. I don't know whether any of these other locations kind of get out of play or anything like that. So I'm sorry if you I'm sorry, Charlie, if you came here for the Arkham. I will be playing this next week, because after the stream tomorrow or something like that, I will place an order for a new arm. But I will leave everything else set up as is. I'm subbed, it will pop up. Nice. Nice. Thank you very much. So. That's a shame. Alright. Yeah, I'm not going to go and join the Baked Kingdom. As much as I'd like to go and play with those guys. Me just standing at the ocean fishing is not indicative of good gameplay for Minecraft. So, it is what it is. Alright, let's move that here. It's just in my face. Oh, so, well, that's an interesting 30 minutes. Alright, I should probably note down that I'm down at 3 experience for everyone. Charlie, if you have Discord, please do consider coming over to the Discord. Currently, we are still voting. I think there is still time. Yeah, until the 2nd of April. There's currently a vote going on what the next scenario will be that I do. So after the Miskatonic University, the Miskatonic Museum, I was planning on either doing Curse of the Rougarou, Murder at the Excelsior Hotel, War of the Outer Gods, or going on to the Essex County Express. Currently, Murder at the Excelsior is winning, so while it won't be on Friday the 2nd at this point, it will be the stream after we finish the Miskatonic Museum. So if you're interested in doing that, or if you're interested in coming over and joining the Discord community, I've got some other... What's the Discord? Do you not use... I assume then you do not use Discord. Or what? Or do you mean what is the link? If you're after the link, there is the link to the Discord. So, given that, we'll use this as a brief interlude just to do some quick plugs. I should say there are obviously there are other streamers on here as well, so you can go and find those guys, follow them, go give them all some love, which is always nice. Want to build a nice community for followers and streamers. Thank you very much, Charlie. I just gave you some rights for the Twitch followers, so you should be able to see a lot of the other channels. The vote is currently going on in the channel Streamers Looking for Group. So, obviously this week is my anniversary of streaming. I have been streaming now for a year. Tomorrow we have a community event where we'll be playing Jackbox TV. I don't know what particular games in Jackbox, but we'll be playing it. But we'll also be playing marbles on stream at 3 points in the stream, at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. One of the winners from those races in the final race of each segment will be added to a wheel. When we spin that wheel at the end of the night, the person whose name is picked, I will gift them a tier 3 sub, and they will become sponsor of the month. So yeah, that's a little bit of fun. And there are obviously sub goals at the moment. There we go. If for some weird reason we manage to hit 50 sub points, I'll play Ring Fit on stream. If we make it to 80, I'll play VR The Room. 100, I will roster in a week of Smite. If it's 150, I will live a meme and play Raid Shadow Legends. And for every 10 after that, I'll add one more session to every other stream. If it goes super crazy, at 200, I will do a Pokemon Evolution Randomizer sub giveaway. And at 250, where you'd all be complete legends, I would even start doing Ring Fit at the start of every other stream. To be honest, anything to do with Ring Fit is literally going to kill me. But you know, it's all in the name of fun. So, let us grab a control. I thought I almost knocked that over then. Yeah, let's put you over here. Put you over here. Move you out of my way. And we transition to console gaming. Spanakopeda! And as I am the only one here, Spanakopeda! Right. What I should do is... Ooh, there's no sound because I haven't opened up the sound item, am I? Sorry, I didn't know what I did. No, that's perfectly fine. So, Spanakopeda is, if you've watched the Venture Brothers, in one of the seasons, I can't remember which, Dr. Venture gets kidnapped, and instead of the kidnappers treating him like he's kidnapped, they turn it into a holiday. He's on a holiday, and the holiday is on an island, and they're celebrating an event called Spanakopeda. And anytime anyone would say Spanakopeda, people would literally pop up out of the woodwork, and they would all just start saying Spanakopeda at each other. 4K capture, put that down at 39, that's fine. That. Do not disturb. Ow, I can bring this back over here now. So, unfortunately, what I'm going to do is I am going to have to do a little few things in the background. I need to update the stream title, put out a thing on Twitter about the fact of the change. So I'm just going to run a very quick ad break. So here's a few words from our hashtag not sponsors. Thank you for the 100 bits, Charlie. I do appreciate it. Ad break is over, and thank you very much for the 100 bits. I do appreciate it. Don't have to do it, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Alright, what can we do now? Video producer, edit, copy. Edit stream info. Day 2. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I'm actually going to have to end it, restart, because I want two separate files. So be right back very quickly. Don't go anywhere.